Do you realize how close we are to the end?
Order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Obama wants to take over.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
An all-powerful sovereign? Who could he be talking about?
Rolling out the red carpet for world leaders, complete with dancers along the route and light.
It was a red carpet never seen before.
Last time we saw a public display quite like this was, frankly, in the Hunger Games.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
U.S. President Barack Obama has urged China to be a partner in underwriting international order, not undermining it.
And shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Let me tell you something. I street preach, and if this little girl was coming over to me doing this, I would have cast that devil out of her.
Is where you stand before God.
Shut up!
Before it's too late.
Shut it!
We can all be saved tonight. And I pray that you turn and repent before it's too late. Turn from your sin.
Blah, 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 blah.
What is sin?
Blah, 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 blah,
Well, God gave His commandments
blah, blah.
so that we can see our sin.
Stop talking, no one listens!
And see, because of our sin,
Shut it!
that we need to turn to God.
Potholes should be quiet!
We need to turn to God before it's too late, just like the rich man. The rich man didn't turn to God, and it was too late for him when he stood before God in
He
heaven.
wants to hear you!
And in hell, he lifted up his eyes.
Jesus, blah, blah, Jesus, blah, blah. No!
Don't think that your own good works will get you to heaven. Nothing will get us to heaven but Jesus Christ.
I'm glad they're taking criminals off the streets, like this precious old man who only wants to feed the hungry. What is this world coming to?
It did not take long for the city of Fort Lauderdale to make good on its promise to criminally charge those who violate a new ordinance that effectively outlaws groups from feeding the homeless, in public.
On Sunday, the city charged 3 people, including 2 ministers and a 90-year-old homeless advocate, and they could face up to 60 days in jail for their so-called crime.
I fully believe that I am my brother's keeper. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
90-year-old Arnold Abbott prepares hundreds of meals each week for the homeless in the kitchen of the Sanctuary Church. But Abbott's work now has him in trouble with the law.
Why is he being arrested?
Shame on you! Shame on you! He faces possible jail time and a $500 fine for feeding the homeless after he was charged Sunday with violating a new ordinance that virtually outlaws groups from sharing food with the hungry in the city.
One of the police officers came over and said, "Drop that plate right now." And so I was carrying a weapon.
Also charged was a minister from Coral Springs and Sanctuary Church pastor.
Coaches can't pray with their players before a football game? What?
A story that's probably going to outrage you. High school football team in Delaware forced to change a post-game ritual of praying after an advocacy group gets its hands on this photo of the team's coach and his players gathered in a holy huddle.
A school board member certainly did, saying, quoting here, "Groups such as the Freedom from Religion Foundation are about taking rights away, not ensuring that we keep our rights." The head coach says this is the first time in 40 years of coaching that he has not been able to pray with his students, Gretchen, but he said he will continue to instill right and wrong in his players.
Check it out. Putin took off for 2 weeks. Nobody knows where he's at. I'll tell you what I think happened to him after this.
Another mystery of sorts, the whereabouts of Vladimir Putin. Just this morning, the Russian president made his first public appearance in nearly 2 weeks, but did he shed any light on where he's been? On where he's been? On where he's been? On where he's been?
Did you see brother's face? He's obviously brainwashed or potentially a clone. I don't know, but he looks like his soul is gone. And wouldn't you know it, he's calling for a new world order now, something that he's never done before. Interesting how the dragon, or the first beast of Revelation chapter 13, is going to get the cooperation of all nations for a short period of time. That would include China, that would include Russia, and that would include America. So don't be surprised if you see this unprecedented unification of all nations coming under the power of one leader, whom I happen to believe will be Obama. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Peace.